Howdy and welcome to the Confidence Through Health podcast. I'm Jerry Snyder. As an elite level athlete, owner of All In Health and Wellness, and author of the book Confidence Through Health, my goal is to help you achieve your goals and dreams using health as the conduit to get there. So I want to take a minute to thank our sponsor for this episode, Luna Juice Bar. If you are in the Waco area, stop by Luna Juice Bar or check out their food truck at the Magnolia Silos for your healthy food, your juice, your smoothies, everything that you need to get your body heading in the right direction from a nutrition standpoint. Check out Luna Juice Bar. The link is on my website, confidencethroughhealth.com, or you can go to lunajuicebar.com to look at the menu and order online as well. So thank you to our sponsor, Luna Juice Bar. So welcome back, everybody, to the Confidence Through Health podcast. My name is Jerry Snyder, and one of the things I want to do before we get started is to apologize for not having an episode last week. For those of you that maybe pay attention to the news, you may have heard about the ice storm that hit Texas, and unfortunately, I was not prepared from the standpoint of having episodes banked and ready to go. And so when we lost electricity in my house for 3 days because of the ice storm, I was unable to get an episode prepped and ready and out the door or uploaded to the website, as it were. So apologize for not having an episode last week. It literally took an ice storm to prevent that from happening. But one of the things I want to talk about actually has to do with the ice storm and some of the clients that I have that are I'm working with them on their nutrition and helping them learn how to eat better and get their health in order. And several of my clients are in Texas. And they were dealing with the ice storm just as we were. And so when things get locked down like that, from a standpoint of Texas is not a place, if you're not familiar with it, that is prepared for ice storms that last for more than 24 hours. If it's 12 to 24 hours worth of ice or snow, we can deal with that. We can handle that. When it goes below freezing for 205 hours consecutively, which is what happened, it broke the record. The previous record was 150 hours. So we crushed the old record of being below freezing and having ice on the roads. And we don't have snowplows and we don't have the salt trucks and those types of things. So the ice literally made everybody stay home. It was extremely, I got out a couple of times. I have a 4x4 vehicle, a 4-wheel drive vehicle that we were able to get out to go to a few places, but it was very touch and go. And a lot of people did the smart thing and not get out at all because they did not have the proper vehicle to do so. So one of the issues that I got a lot of my clients asking me about was, what do I do? I'm stuck at home. I wasn't expecting this. I'm bored. I either don't have electricity or I do have electricity and all I can do is sit inside and, watch TV, entertain myself through video, but businesses were shut down. Most places, it wasn't like you had work to do. So it was different from the lockdown of before with the pandemic, where it was, we're going to stick you at home and then businesses are going to figure out how to work from home. Most businesses were shut. And so it was not be at home and work. It was be at home, have your kids at home because they're not in school, and sit in front of the TV. And what happens is you get the urge to eat. The urge to eat because of boredom. And so that's sort of what I want to talk about today, is just that the urge to eat out of boredom is a real thing. It is a true, real thing that you have to deal with to live a healthy life, to understand how to feed yourself proper nutrition. You have to understand and be able to deal with the boredom factor that creates cravings, And a lot of times it's not necessarily the boredom itself, but what the boredom leads to. So the boredom leads to you have to find something to do. So a lot of times that can be, we're going to find, I'm going to go play a game. I'm going to do something with my family. But in the instances where you can't do a whole lot because you're stuck inside, it's cold. You either have electronics that you can watch. Maybe you have battery powered electronics. So you can watch a couple of videos, maybe on some battery powered DVD players, those types of things. But for the most part, once you start watching videos, we've been trained both by the entertainment factor of it and by what the videos actually put into them in a subliminal way. A lot of the shows that we see deal with what we think the family life is about. And that is, if you ask most people, what is your home life revolve around in your home? The kitchen or eating is going to be one of the top things that they say. Mealtime, being in the kitchen. And we see that in the US now with the way that homes are being built. Homes are being built with this big open floor plan so that you could be in the kitchen and also be involved in the house. And the kitchens are huge compared to what they used to be. Kitchen used to be the small little room in the building where you made the meal. Now it's where life happens. And I'm not saying that's good or bad, but the danger that comes with that is the kitchen is where the food is. And so if all our entertainment, the majority of our entertainment revolves around food. The videos we watch are about food. The shows we watch, they're in the kitchen. They're cooking a meal. They're eating. Maybe not throughout the whole thing, but there's a part of each show where they're doing that. And so what it tells you, it could be 2:00 in the afternoon. It's not mealtime, but you're watching a show where they sit down for dinner, and subliminally it tells you it's time to eat dinner because you want to be a part of the show. You're trying to live as a part of the entertainment. And so the boredom factor drives you to have cravings because it says, hey, I need to eat something. I should get up and eat. So you have to be careful when you're watching entertainment, especially. Of course, the other factor is movies. For however long movies have been around, the goal, or not the goal necessarily, but the way that they've built the entertainment of going to a movie is what? Popcorn, hot dog, sodas, candy. Like, you go to a movie theater, that's part of the experience, is getting all those things. So we transfer that to home. You go home, you're stuck at home, you're going to watch a movie. Okay, well, let's make some popcorn, let's do some candy, let's get some soda. Like, the same thing happens. You want to feel the experience, even though you can't go live the experience out at the movie theater. And that can be dangerous when you're stuck at home for hours and hours, days and days, and you can't, it's not really, I shouldn't say you can't go outside, because you could. I mean, it at the extremes during that cold front, that ice storm, during the snowstorm, during the extremes, we hit single digits. The wind chill was below 0. You could still go out in that. It's not what a typical Texan is used to. And it's definitely not what a typical Texan is prepared for. Currently right now we're a few days past the ice storm, and temperatures are in the 50s. This is what typical Texans are used to for a winter time. So when it's that cold, yeah, you can go out in it. We did. We took the kids out. We played in the snow and we did all those things. But it's not something you can do for a long term. And so you go out and you do that. So here's the other kicker. You go out and you do that. What's your body doing during that moment? Your body is trying to heat itself. You're exposing it to cold temperatures. It's trying to heat itself. The easiest way to heat itself that your body knows is to eat. Because when you eat, you burn calories in the digestive process. That is, a calorie is a measurement of energy. It's a measurement of something, how much it burns, how much energy it produces when it burns. So if your body knows this, your body knows the quickest way to heat up is to eat something, because then your digestion is going to start. That digestive process in the stomach that goes into the intestine, it's going to start, and it's going to start heating up your body from the internal organs. You're going to heat up from the inside to the outside, which is a lot more efficient way to heat, by the way. To heat up from the inside going out is a lot easier than to heat from the outside going in. But that's not always what your body needs. Your body may crave that. Your body may say, I want to be warmer. Feed me, make me warmer by feeding me. But if it's not at a mealtime, if it's not at a time where you need fuel for what's coming next, maybe just getting a little water, getting a little liquid, and maybe some hot tea if you can do it. If you have the electricity, get something warm from a liquid standpoint to drink, to heat you from the inside, and then put on layers, get in front of a fire, get in front of a space heater, something like that. So granted, we're almost in March. In Texas, we're not going to have another cold snap like this, I don't believe. I think this was it. At least I sure hope it was it. But there's other parts of the world where you could be listening to this. You could be preparing for it for next year, where this is, or when there's ever a time, whether it's a storm, where you're stuck inside, and you lose power and you lose electricity and you lose the ability to go somewhere else. Make sure that you're not eating out of boredom. And even though when you just take a weekend away and you just say, this weekend, I've got all the luxuries in the world. I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit and do nothing. I need a weekend of nothing. I think we all need that occasionally. So if this is your weekend of nothing, make sure that the nothing includes not overeating out of boredom. Because typically we live in such a fast pace. We go and go and go, and we have so many things coming at us, whether it's through our phones, through our emails, like through our business, through our work, through anything that we've got going on, our kids. The world is coming at us, and we've got so many things we're juggling. When a big one of those things gets taken out, and multiple, like this past week. So what I dealt with was I lose internet, I lose electricity, so I lose the ability to do my business. I can't go to my other business to the actual location because of electricity and icy road conditions. So that business is closed. My kids are home and not at school. There's no power for watching whatever we want, whenever we want. And it's too cold to go outside and do the things I want to do outside. There's so many things at play there that come off my plate and I'm not able to do. Like in a normal situation, if I was going to take a weekend and say, I'm going to not work this weekend, I'm going to do something. Well, I've got things around the house I can do. I got my garden needs to be planted. I've got limbs that need to be trimmed up. I've got yard work that needs to be done. Like there's lots of stuff that I can still do to keep myself busy. Ice storm, cold temperatures, no electricity. All that stuff comes off your plate. And so you're stuck with the basics of life. What are the basics of life? Connect with the people that are around you. Connect with your family. Play games. Be with them. Try and stay warm and feed yourself. And if that's all there is to do, a lot of people, like some of my clients that were asking me for help, were sitting there just eating and eating and eating. And typically it's not the good stuff, like the healthy stuff that you're eating and eating and eating when you're eating out of boredom. Typically, it's junk food, snacky foods, things that are not healthy for you. Because if you, quite frankly, if you eat the healthy stuff, your body's not going to crave anything else because you're giving it everything it needs. And so you're going to eat a little bit of that good, healthy food, and then you're going to stop and go, well, I took eating off my plate. There's no reason to eat anymore. My body doesn't need it. And so now I've got boredom, and I can play with my family. I can play some games, but eating's done. Whereas you're eating unhealthy foods, your body says, hey, that was a great little snack and it picked me up and but it doesn't give me what I need, so I need more. And so you're going to constantly be feeding yourself more unhealthy foods as you go through that cycle. So that eating out of boredom is a real thing. It's something you need to be prepared for hitting you whenever you do take things out of the picture. Go on vacation, eating out of boredom comes into play. How many of us go on vacation and you stop the normal routine? Maybe you stay in a hotel, maybe you take an RV and you go camping, you stay in a resort, you go to a family member's house, but you're out of your routine. You're gone for, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, whatever it is. And usually by the second or third day, a little bit of boredom hits because you want to be relaxed. You want to have a zero schedule. You don't want to be jam-packed in your vacation. Your vacation is time away. So it's slow down, take things off your plate, and then what happens? You get bored. And when you get bored, typically you start eating, you start snacking on things that are available. So one of the key pieces of dealing with boredom is understanding that it's okay to be bored. In certain situations, at certain times, it's okay to be bored. It's not okay to be bored if you have things on your plate and things that can be done and should be done, and you're just avoiding them. But in those times where you can't do anything, or you've taken those things off your plate because you're on vacation and you're not going to work and you're not going to do those other things because you want time away from those, which I think is 100% something we should all be doing on a regular basis. So when you're in those situations, boredom becomes an absolute factor that we have to learn to be okay with. It's okay to be bored. It's okay to sit and watch the world. You don't have to be feeding yourself the whole time. You don't have to be eating the entire time you're sitting at the beach or you're sitting on a porch watching the wind and the birds and the animals and life happen. You don't have to be eating all of that time. You can sit and do nothing and you're going to be okay. And in fact, you're probably going to be better off, because if you do eat out of boredom, I would venture to guess 99% of the time, it's not going to be the healthy food that you should be eating and should be giving your body. So now, if you were one of one of my clients that had to deal with that and contacted me after the fact of, oh my gosh, I think I'm throwing my whole meal plan out the door because I'm eating this and I'm eating that and I can't stop and it's right in front of me and I'm so bored, and all these things that I heard from some of my clients. The thing you have to remember is that nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. We all fall off our plan, whether it's a meal plan or a business plan or a financial plan or a parenting plan or life plan, whatever the plan is, training plan for sports. We all fall off the plan every now and then. We all get distracted for whatever reason. There's always an issue that comes up. that could derail us from having perfect execution of what we want to happen. And that's okay. What you have to remember, and what I told my clients, is it's okay. It's not always going to be perfect. Deal with it as best you can. Know that those are things that you shouldn't do. Don't get down on yourself if you did. And as soon as you can get back to normal, as soon as the power comes back, as soon as the ice storm is over, because we know there's going to be an endpoint to that. Texas didn't automatically just suddenly move to being a part of the Antarctic. Like, we know that ice storm was an anomaly and that it's going to go away. And like I said, now it's back in the 50s. It's going to be in the 70s. Like, before we know it, in Texas, it's going to be 100 degrees. Like, we know that those single digits and that couple of inches of ice was an anomaly, and it's not going to last forever. So tell yourself and be prepared for the moment that comes back to normal, you jump back onto the plan 100%, and you're ready to go. And it's that simple. The danger is when you go into the boredom and then you start eating things that you're not, that are not on your meal plan, that are not healthy for you. The danger point comes in when you start telling yourself the self-limiting belief of, well, I'm no good at this. I couldn't be successful at it. So I might as well stop and just eat whatever the heck I want because it doesn't matter anyway. That's the danger. And so what you have to do is avoid the danger spot and go into it from the standpoint of, I know this is here. This is temporary. And as soon as that moment stops and it comes back to normal, I'm going back to my meal plan because that's who I am. I am the person who eats healthy. I am the person who does things well. I am the person who eats properly. I am the person who whatever. When you say those things, they're affirmations. They are, but they work. They work. Because you know what also works? When you tell yourself, I'm horrible at this. I'm unsuccessful. A small little thing, like a 3-day power outage due to an ice storm, I'd say that's bigger than a small little thing. But in your mind, you rationalize it. You say, small little thing, one little hiccup, like an ice storm, and I can't eat healthy anymore. So I just suck. That's what some people say. And that becomes the narrative. And you have to change the narrative. The easy way to change the narrative is to pick a point and say, here's where it comes back to normal. When the ice storm is done, when we go back to normal life, when work resumes, guess what? I'm a healthy eater. I don't have to deal with that anymore. And so it's easy for me to do it. And when that happens, you gain confidence. And that confidence then goes into the next time this happens. And so the next time it happens, when you go on vacation and you say, you know what, I dealt with that ice storm and I had boredom and I had my weak moments, but that's not who I am because I'm stronger now. And I bounced back from that. So if I bounced back from that, why do I have to fall down to it? I don't have to fall down to it. I'm stronger than that. I don't have to do that because I'm a healthy eater. And then you go into a vacation and guess what? You're no longer falling to the temptation. And so that 100% right there, Ed explains exactly how I live my life. Because people ask me, how can you go and be around sweets or be around, whatever it is at parties or family gatherings or vacations or whatever it is where there's temptations from a food standpoint. How can you go around, be around that and not be tempted to eat it? And I simply say, my narrative is, I may not say it in these words, but I tell them that my narrative is, I am a healthy eater. I am a healthy person, and a healthy person does not do those things. And so that is not who I am. Eating those things is not who I am. Could I do it? Absolutely. Could I exercise it off the way I exercise? Absolutely. I could. But it doesn't meet my end goal for life. Because all of those things that are unhealthy for you from a sugar content standpoint, from a chemical content standpoint, all of those things that have been identified as disease-causing foods, chronic disease-causing foods, all of those things, I could exercise them right out of my body and you wouldn't see a physical on the outside. You wouldn't see any change in my body. But internally, I know those things would be affecting my longevity. They would be affecting my brain's ability to work. They would be affecting my ability to maintain a longer life, a healthier life, longer into life. That's what I mean by longevity. It's like my goal is to live a super long life. The only way I can do that is to maintain as close to optimal health as I can at every moment. And what that means is not putting things in my body that are a detriment to my health. So does everybody have to live that way? No, that's the way I choose to live. What I hope to do is just give you a little bit of help in understanding how to deal with the cravings of the temptations when there's boredom. When there's boredom. There's boredom, and if you think about it and you're honest with yourself, when there's boredom, you eat. When you're bored, you eat. It's a part of life. It's a part of the way that we have grown up. It's the part of the way that we have just taught ourselves in society. When we're bored, we search for food. It's just what we do. So hopefully this will help you understand, so the next time that you have those down moments and you're bored, you'll be able to understand why at the end of the day, why you look in your cabinet and you say, did I really just eat a whole bag of chips? Did I really just eat 4 candy bars today? Did I really do all that? Like, I don't remember doing that. That's boredom. When that's the case, that's eating out of boredom. So be aware of it. Know that it's a legitimate issue that you have to be prepared for. Eating out of boredom is a legitimate issue that you need to be prepared for. So always have healthy snacks around. So if you get bored, at least you're eating something healthy until you can get past that point. Always fill yourself with things to do and understand that food is fuel. You need to fuel yourself for the next thing you're doing. So if you're not doing anything, you don't need as much fuel. So to be eating constantly and not doing anything actively or physically is a sign that you're eating out of boredom. So hopefully that'll help. I appreciate everybody following, listening along. If if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, if you would click that subscribe button, or on YouTube, click that subscribe button. We'd love to have comments, connect with you, find out ways that I can help you improve your health, help you improve the way you're eating, and really help you live a happier life and a more confident life. Because I think through better health, you're going to be able to achieve both of those things. Thanks for checking out the All in Health and Wellness Confidence Through Health podcast. Our goal is to use health as a conduit to help you reach your goals in life.
A little lighter than me. I'm about to black out. Her grip is getting tighter on me. I think I like it deep inside. I feel the fire in me. She like the milky, see me creaming to the coffee in me. She got soul in her sway.